All right, Coach. Catching up after last night's game against Carson-Newman, the Southland Conference opener. Your team wins its 35th straight conference game, which I believe is the highest winning streak in conference play in the nation currently in operation right now. So a 90-68 win over Carson-Newman. You were happy for your team's performance last night. After going back and watching the film, how are you feeling about last night's performance?
No, really pleased. I thought was kind of like what it looked like in real time. I thought 30 minutes of really good basketball. Again, a 5-minute window in the beginning of the second half. I thought we lost a little bit of intensity and focus, and then the last 5 minutes was not very good at all. But outside of that, really was happy with how we competed, how we played. I thought guys came out and we played with a lot of force and a lot of presence defensively. Thought offensively we were pretty purposeful in terms of how we attacked the zone, and so it was a really good team and got contributions up and down the roster. I think we had really like in the heart of the game. I think 11 different guys got in and contributed, and every single guy really did some good things when they got their opportunities. So it was a really good team win. Proud of our guys. We had talked about trying to establish an identity and figure out who we want to be. I think previous years we've always been a team that really competed. We've obviously had talent, but we've been a team that's really competed at a high level, been able to sustain that. And basketball generally boils down to who competes and executes the best over a 40-minute window, and you got to be able to sustain those things against good teams. And I thought for the most part last night we were able to do that.
We talked about Alex last night, and obviously how he kind of shifts things for you guys when he's shooting the ball well. A guy that kind of got under the radar is Anthony Brown, and how he's played the last couple games, almost a triple-double against Virginia Wise, and really kind of sniffed those triple-double numbers again last night. So talk about how he's kind of coming into the system now and working together.
Well, it just shows how much we're changing and evolving, because 10 days ago or whatever, 12 days ago against Christian Brothers, I played him 4 minutes because I was mad at him. He had played poorly, in my opinion, against Aiken the week before, and then he was not very good in that first few minutes against Christian Brothers, and then from there he's been terrific. Anthony's a guy that I think, just like Alex, when he's doing what he does well, and their games couldn't be more diametrically opposite, but when he's doing what he does well, it makes everything easier. I thought he was. In my opinion, he was the best player on the floor last night. I don't think it was close. He was, particularly in the offensive end. I thought, obviously the job Scoot and Rick did on Teichman was beyond the pale. It was an incredible job defensively, but in terms of offensively, getting guys shots, being efficient with his own, getting the rim and finishing, taking advantage of mismatches on the switches. They switched a lot of ball screens, put a big, number 11 and 25-24. Their bigs on him in terms of in the zone when we ran some step-ups, and he took advantage, got the rim, finished some difficult plays, and then again did a great job not only of scoring but distributing the ball, making the right play when he got there. He made great rim decisions. Thought he defended at a pretty good level. And the thing about Anthony is, he's only 6 feet tall, but he's got a 6'7" wingspan. And he's a terrific rebounder for a little guard. He went out and got 6 last night. I think he got 11 against Virginia Wise. He got a double-double first game against Clayton State. So, he got 8 against Auburn. So he's a guy that really hits the glass. And with our team, because right now, given some circumstances, we're pretty small across the board. We've got to be a 5-man rebounding team, and he's a guy that really helps that for us, and then once he gets it, he's great at pushing it, and I think it allows our speed, which is probably our biggest asset, to kind of showcase through or shine through.
No turnovers also while he was kind of running the offense to show for you, and mostly in that second half. So now you look at it, 3 straight wins for your team. I know you weren't thrilled with the performance against Virginia Wise as a whole, but 2 of your last 3 have been really nice team effort, team-wide, nice, solid performances. So how do you kind of feel like the team has recovered from that little 2-game swoon there?
I think well, it's all very fragile. It's game to game, and for us, we've got a young group that's just got to stay focused. It's hard. We play with a scoreboard, so everybody knows if you won or lost, but you got to be less outcome based and more committed to trying to stay in the moment, prepare as well as you can, and then learn from the games that you played, and then get ready for what's next. So, for me, I try not to, when we win, overreact and get too excited. I try not to be overly despondent, when we lose. I try to really, we try to go through the same process and be as self-critical in terms of what we're doing, regardless of outcome, right? So, but I'm happier. I think we're developing. I think we said in the post game last night, we're very much a work in progress. Like, we're figuring things out. Like, we're playing a lot more guys than we have in years. I mean, 11 guys are getting in the meat and potatoes of the game where the game's not decided, and a lot of that is because guys aren't established yet, right? I mean, Anthony Brown goes, like I said, 12 days ago I wasn't playing him, and then now he's nearing triple doubles on a nightly basis, and we've got a lot of guys that are trying to figure things out. We have so many new pieces. We're playing 4 true freshmen, a redshirt freshman, and then a bunch of other new guys in this rotation, and just everybody's trying to kind of integrate and figure out their roles and get comfortable. And so again, it really just comes back to while we're a work in progress, we have to figure out how to win games, because like I told the team last night, it's not going to get easier. We got to get better, right? I mean, we're playing Carson-Newman last night. They're undefeated, 5-0. Got Coker, a really good team coming in this weekend, and then you turn around, you got to go to Queens, top 25 on the road, and then you still got to go to Anderson, host Wingate, who's picked top 4 in the league, and then you host Kentucky Wesleyan, and that's just the first semester. So it's not about things getting easier; it's about us getting better. And the biggest thing, and it's the hardest thing, we've always discussed this, is the consistency. Do you have the perseverance, the grit to go out and sustain and execute and play with great effort and toughness and discipline and do it every single possession? Because as the better teams you play and the further along in the year it gets, the line to be successful gets higher.
And we talked about this, you already hit on this a little bit. Coker here on Saturday. They've obviously struggled a little bit, and they're going to probably come in a little bit exhausted playing Wednesday and Thursday, kind of swing here before they come here. But obviously we've seen enough in the Southland Conference to know they had a solid season last year. We know they're a team that can come in and beat you. So talk about this Coker team.
Well, Eric's teams, I think, watching them this year, they kind of have the same characteristics. They put an unbelievable amount of pressure on you on both ends of the floor. It's somewhat reminiscent. They do it a little bit differently than like Newberry and Dave, but his teams, much like Dave's team, play exceptionally hard. Every dribble is contested, every pass is contested. They're flying at you. They push it in transition. You got to be great defensively, getting back and getting set. You also got to be great at the point of attack, because they're trying to break you down and get their shoulders by and force help. And if you're getting broken down and giving up vertical drives all game, I mean, you have very limited chance. You're giving up good looks on the weak side, or you're giving up rotation box outs, right? So we need to be really good in our transition defense. Obviously, got to be terrific guarding the basketball, and then you got to be strong with the ball and take care of it and understand every dribble, every catch is going to be contested. Can you own your space? You're meeting passes. They challenge you in a lot of different areas, and again, their effort level, their toughness level is extremely high. They're probably not off to the start that they thought they would have. They still got a lot of the same pieces from last year. And look at guys like Khalil Halls and Marquise Green, and Ladarius Williams, Larry Cooper. I mean, there's a lot of guys that have played well for them. They finished in a tie for 5th last year, and so I think the start for them is probably a little bit of an anomaly. I think they're much better than they've played at this point.
Well, and then also looking ahead, when obviously you're a coach, you don't want to look too far ahead. But what do you want to see from your team on Saturday, knowing what's coming, like you just talked about with Queens on next Saturday, at Anderson, then Wingate and Kentucky Wesleyan?
Just want to continue to build good habits, continue to go out and try to play 40 minutes, complete basketball, play both ends of the floor, build on our defensive efforts. I thought last night our toughness was much better, our rebounding was much better, our loose balls, things that we can control. We talk all the time, control the controllables, and we've been really fortunate, the last, I don't know how many years, we've kind of had a charmed existence. When you go back to, I don't know how many years in a row we've had multiple All-Americans, but a lot, right? And we don't have multiple All-Americans. And so our margin for error is smaller. And that's okay, right? But you have to be more sound in the areas you can control. So, we have to, offensively, it's got to be collective. We don't have a guy that Dorian Pinson that could just get by and be a catalyst and force help any possession he wants to, or a rim runner like Emmanuel Terry, who's 6'9" and jumps out the gym and puts unbelievable vertical pressure on the rim, and then a shooter. We've had the leading three-point shooter in the nation 3 years in a row, and Jalen Steele, Luke Choice, and Trayvon Shaw. We don't have that. So it has to be collective. We have to work together to generate shots. We have to be sound in the areas we can control, and we got to make all the toughness plays. If we can get to where we're doing those things, I thought last night was a step forward, but now you want to build on it. It's about being able to do it and replicate it over and over and over again. And as boring as that is, that's the path to success. And so for our guys, it's about, again, stay in the moment, focus on the process, focus on what they need to do to prepare to play well. Is our approach correct, these next 2 days in terms of, we always talk about, approach drives preparation, preparation drives performance, but it starts with your approach. So it's going to be coming in, making sure we learn the lessons, see what we can do better, what we did well, where we can grow and improve, and then come back to work, try to get ready, because again, you have completely diametrically opposite challenges when you talk about Carson-Newman on a Wednesday and then what we got to do to be successful on Saturday.